What's up, guys? Thank you for joining us on our second Watch Chat Let's Play of No Man's Sky. So, day one, I didn't like this game at all. I tried to get into it. It was tedious. It was very grindy. I didn't know what I was doing. It was very, very frustrating, and I've told a couple people that. So, day two. Biggest difference between today and yesterday is I finally got my ship operational, and it makes all of the difference in the world. I cannot tell you how much better this game is when you have your ship. So this is mine. I named her Betty because, instead of Black Betty, Blue Betty. So that's my ship. I can jump in, I can fly around, do all kinds of stuff. The coolest thing I noticed, though, is right now I'm in a space station. I'll take you out in a little bit and show you what some of the space is like. But you can run up to any ship, like you're going to get into it, interact with it. You meet the pilots, you figure out kind of what they're about, get to know them a little bit, depending on how much of the language that you know. So you can see the word friend on the screen, that's the only thing highlighted. When you're on different planets, they have all these little monoliths that you can kind of find and interact with, and that'll teach you some of the language. So once you get to know some of these people, some of the language, it makes it easier for you to understand and trade with them. But for the most part, all you really have to do is click on the ship, it'll bring them up. You can try to sell them stuff, you can try to buy stuff from them, or you can make an offer to even buy their ship. So like I said, the biggest difference was that you need the ship to do anything, and that's important because you have only a certain amount of slots available for your inventory, which is kind of the biggest gripe that I have with this game. Is you need so much stuff to keep your weapons charged, to keep your ship in the air, to recharge your shield and everything. So you use all of these slots. Your overflow stores that you can switch between your suit as you're on the ground, and then you can transfer stuff to your ship to give you like extra storage and stuff like that. So I only have 265,000, almost 266,000 points. So this ship is way more expensive than what I have, but it's a lot different than mine in terms of what I've got. So it's got more slots. I've got 16. It's got 19. It's got some stronger weapons and gear and stuff like that that I don't have yet. So that's kind of the thing. If you want a different looking ship, and like I said in the first video, like, doesn't this look like Destiny to you? Like, just the way the drop down menu is and the little circle cursor. Like, doesn't this scream Destiny? And the biggest gripe I had with Destiny was that I wanted to buy like different ships and fly them out and take them out. This is like the part of Destiny that I wish they would have interfaced with. I wish that they would just like take this and like throw it in Destiny. That would be fantastic. But anyway, so obviously I don't have the money, so I'll decline that. But it's cool. You can meet a whole bunch of people. They all trade. They all have their different language. Until you start unlocking the different parts of their speech, you don't understand what they're saying. You just kind of have to go off as best you can. But for now, I'll just leave because there's nothing here I want to buy, and I will bounce. Alright. Hey, so I named that planet Watch Chat Play, which is kind of sweet. As you're finding planets and discovering stuff, you can kind of name it whatever you want to, within reason. There is a censor. They will obviously ding you if you try to say something inappropriate. I've noticed that if you try to use like a hyphen or abbreviation, it thinks that you're trying to swear, because there's been a couple times where I didn't try to swear at all, and it just kind of docked me for it. So you can kind of pick what planet you want to explore, and there's kind of two ways to travel. You can hold your, if you're playing on PlayStation, R2 get you going. If you hold circle, it'll kind of boost you off a little bit, but if you want to get to a planet quicker, if you hold L1 and R1, that brings up your pulse drive, and then, every warp you've ever seen ever. So that's how you get to planets quicker, but when you get to the point where you can actually warp to different planets and ecosystems and galaxies and stuff, you press down the D-pad, and this brings up your, the galaxy that we all saw in the E3 demo that made us all freak out. So you can go to all of these planets, but you kind of have like a chart, like a guide of what you want to do. So I named the planet system that I'm on Figgy Pudding. I don't remember what it was before. But there's this atlas thing that I found, and it's kind of your goal is to get to the center of the universe. And there's this thing that I found that asked if I wanted to take like a side trip somewhere else. So I did, and that's where it's kind of taking me. So the interface with this is kind of a nightmare. So can follow the path to where you're going, and that's where I'm headed, the Atlas interface, just to see if I get a whole bunch of cool stuff, or maybe I go there to die. I have no idea. But that's my goal right now. But you can't go to any other planet um, without charging a warp drive, which you have to do by mining all this stuff, creating all this other stuff, and then you have to get one charge for your warp drive, and then you can go, from planet to planet, which I don't have that, so I'm not going to worry about it for right now. Um, I was attacked by space pirates, and I was killed, and I am happy to say that when you die in space, you pop up at a space station, and it's kind of like Dark Souls, where you just have to make it back to where your character was, and then you can get all your stuff back, which is kind of nice. I don't know what happens if you die on the way to get your stuff back. I didn't want to risk it because obviously that would suck. Um, but it was just kind of nice to be able to get all my stuff, my items back. So let me go ahead and get into this little atmosphere a little bit, see what's going on. So the first video, I was doing a whole lot of walking, and I was miserable while I was doing it. Thankfully, now that I got my ship up and running, you can kind of scan to see if there's anything specific that you're looking for. And at any point, the thing that I look for the most are these little, the little question marks. So I'll find a question mark, I'll go to it, and it's in the water, so I'll try to land right here on the coast, which is pretty easy to do. Just press and hold square. Okay, so this place is super radioactive, so I'm not going to try to spend all that much time here. This thing better be worth it. Maybe you'll see me die. Let's see what happens. It's just like a save point. Stuff I can grab. I don't know. I guess that's alright. But that's kind of what I've been doing. I've been going from planet to planet to figure out what's there, what I want, what I can find, and all that good stuff. So, try to get out of this gross water. Yeah, I get it. There's radiation in the water. So, like I said, you use your little gun to get you all squared away. Where's my ship? I need to get there like now. Oh, sweet. Animal. Yep. Oh, that's a dinosaur. So you just saw me scan it. I've been scanning like crazy. Every time you find an animal, you need to name it and upload it, and they give you credits for finding it, for uploading it. It's pretty cool. The way you make money in this game is pretty sweet. Okay. So once you get back into your ship, where you kind of get out to safety, you can kind of see that my radiation level goes down. You're safe as long as you're in your ship. So that's kind of nice. So you got to spend as much time in there as you can. So you see my thrusters drop down to 75%. A big part of this game is you just constantly mining for resources to keep yourself in the air. Which is, it's whatever. Like I said, you get used to it. It might be nice to get to a point where you just install a whatever device, and then it's just solar powered and you don't need to mine anymore. But it's relatively easy to get into, so I don't know. It's okay. You get used to it. Like any game, there's room for opportunity, but as of now, I'm alright with it. I feel like I'm not going to stay on this planet very long because it's just so jacked up. So we'll try to get this save point, and then maybe I can get in this building. That'd be nice. Ooh, what are you? Should be an interest point So this is one of the ways that you can learn some stuff. Encyclopedias will teach you some words. So I just learned the word for despair. That'll help me later on just kind of understand some stuff. Get my shield back up. Let me get out of here because this place sucks. There are ways to upgrade your gear and like, you know, not powers, but like all of your gear and merchandise so you're not just so, I don't know, weak, I guess. But I haven't done a whole lot of that yet, so I just gotta keep on running back to my ship before I die. Alright, so my thrusters dropped to 50, so if you ever need to recharge, all you gotta do is hit your home screen, and then see if you, so I have a whole bunch of plutonium, that's what I used to charge it, so hold it, charges it up, and then it's back up, so I got my pulse engine, I got deflector shields, photon cannons, all kinds of good stuff. So, like anything, the more you play the game, the more stuff that you find, so it's pretty good, pretty easy to get into, so key points. If you are not into games like Fallout 4, anything that's very craft heavy or grindy, chances are you're not going to like this game at all. You're just not. It took me a solid day just to get into it to figure out if I was into this style. And day one, I didn't like it at all. And if you're not into spending the time crafting for resources and stuff like that, you might hate this game. You might be better off just waiting until it's a little bit cheaper, or if you have a buddy that can lend it to you so you can take it for a spin. But I'll tell you first and foremost, day one, I didn't want any part of this game whatsoever. I kind of wanted to get rid of it and move on to something else. But I am glad that I spent the time really figuring it out, getting to know how it handles, because once I got my ship unlocked, that changed it for me because I wasn't just walking the whole time. And I can go into space, I can shoot at people, I can do all kinds of good stuff. So there's a lot to do in this game. There's not a whole lot of people to meet unless you're into trading and talking to the pilots like I showed you earlier. There's some outposts where you'll meet some people and kind of get some lore. But for the most part, you're going to spend a lot of time alone. You're going to spend a lot of time in space stations, just trading and selling some stuff. And this game is it's a space scavenging survival game first and foremost. So if you're looking for something like Overwatch or Battlefield or something where you're constantly being shot at, this is not that game. It's just not. And if you don't like that kind of game, that's okay. But I can safely say for not liking it the first day at all, and like as much as I'm getting into it now, you have to fight through the first probably, I don't know, first 5 hours to really get a good grasp on what you're doing and whether or not you're going to like doing it. After that, it'll get a little grindy, I'm sure. It'll get a little tedious, I'm sure. But I ended up liking it a lot. So I do recommend checking it out if you get a chance. Because this is the terminal where you do all of your money making and trading and stuff like that. So you can sell some stuff, you can buy some stuff like you could do with the individual people, but you can't make an offer on the space station because you ain't got that kind of cheddar. So if you were going to sell some stuff, it's got kind of a good breakdown of like what the value is. So like this thing right here, it's plus 1% over like the general average of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and sell that. And there's all kinds of other stuff that I have that I can sell if I wanted to. And there's some stuff that I can't sell, and I'm not sure why, because I even have people that can buy some of this stuff, and it might just, maybe I need to just use it for myself. I don't know. I have to figure that out. But there's a lot of stuff that you can buy as well. So like if you're low on carbon or iron, or you need something, to like help sustain you, you can kind of look for a good price, or you can just kind of trade it out. And that's just kind of a neat thing. Like the titanium, I guess, is dirt cheap on this planet, so I could buy some if I wanted to. I don't need to because I already got a lot of it, but that's where you'll make a lot of your money, do a lot of your trading and merchandising. I spent a lot of time in this terminal. There's some other places to it that I don't have access to yet. I don't have an Atlas pass, have not figured out where to get that. That's something else I have to do, but I'll work on that later on. So key points: expect to grind a lot, expect to spend a lot of time confused and frustrated. But once you fight through all that stuff, once you get your ship up and running, once you figure out how to get a better like mining beam and like its different like upgrades and stuff like that, a stronger scanner, you will end up liking this game a lot more when you really obviously figure out what you get to do like any game. So I guess we'll go ahead and cut that short for now. So, I want to know how you're liking this game. Is it interesting? Do you hate it? Is it better than you thought? Is it worse than you thought? I'd like to hear your opinion and your take on it. So, for all of us on Watch Chat Play and Analog Addiction, my name is Devon. Thank you for watching. Please reach out via Twitter at Designated Devon, at Watch Chat Play, at Analog Addiction, or hit us up on Facebook or Twitter, or Twitter, like I already said, but like Facebook or the YouTube or whatever, because I really want to know how you feel about it, because I know how I feel, obviously, not so you do, but I would like to know how you feel as well. So thank you for watching. We'll make some more of these as well, and we'll see you next time.